Indo-Pak War, 1971. After securing an absolute majority in the elections in 1971, the Awami League insisted upon autonomy for East Pakistan. The military rulers of West Pakistan responded with a military crackdown and repression. Consequently, about 10 million East Pakistanis fled to India. This adversely affected the Indian economy. India asked Pakistan to create conditions for the return of the refugees to their homes in East Bengal. Pakistan sought to internationalize the issue by attacking India on the 3rd of December 1971. The war was fought both on the eastern and the western fronts. India adopted aggressive strategy on the eastern front and a defensive strategy on the western front, the Eastern Front. On the Eastern Front, the Indian Army defeated 4 divisions and 30,000 paramilitary forces of the Pak Army in the 13 Days War. 3 Corps and 101 Communication Zone area of the Indian Army participated in this war. The Indian Army 3 Corps, 20 Mountain Div, 71 Mountain BDE, conducted operations between the Jamuna and Padma rivers in the northwestern sector of East Pakistan. The sector was defended by 16 Pak Div and 3,000 paramilitary forces. While the brigade advanced on Pachagar-Thakurgaon axis, the Div attacked the waistline of the sector, that is, hilly area. It was finally reduced on the 11th of December 1971. The Corps also captured enemy strongholds of Rangpur and Bogra on the 16th. During the war, it inflicted heavy casualties on the enemy and captured some 17,000 of its troops. It suffered 471 killed and 1,450 wounded in the war. The 2nd Corps, 9 Inf Div, 4 MTN Div, carried out operations in the southwestern sector of East Pakistan. The sector was bounded by Padma River in the north, Jamuna River in the east, and the Bay of Bengal in the south. 1 Pak Infantry Division with 8 battalions was defending this sector. The 4 MTN Div carried out operations in the northern part of this sector. It fought its way through Jabanagar, Kochanpur, Swadi, Janida, and Magura. It also overcame tough enemy resistance at Kushtia. The division fought a crucial battle on the 15th of December on the western banks of the Madhumati. 9 Infantry Division carried out operations in the southern part of the Corps sector on Garibpur-Jasore-Khulna axis. It captured Barinda and Jasori and then moved on to Khulna. The Pak Brigade commander surrendered here on the 17th with 3,700 troops. An important thrust into East Pakistan was made by 101 Communication Zone area, 95 BDE and FJ sector with 1 battalion from the north. It covered the area bounded by the Meghna in the east, Jamuna in the west, and Padma in the southwest. The zone launched its attack on 2 axes. 95 BDE advanced on Kamalpur-Jamalpur-Madhupur axis. The brigade encountered tough opposition at Kamalpur and Jamalpur. Heavy use of air and artillery power finally broke the enemy resistance at these strongholds. The enemy broke out from Jamalpur on 10th night and suffered heavy casualties during the retreat. Meanwhile, FJ force made rapid progress on Haluagat-Mymensingh axes. The Pak position at Haluagat was outflanked and the defending battalion totally destroyed. The force captured Mymensingh on the 11th and Madhupur on the 12th. This was the time when Indian 4 Corps was knocking at the eastern gate of Dhaka. The Pak commander panicked and withdrew the small force, which was defending this sector, to meet the threat from the east. This enabled the 101 CZA to advance unchallenged. The 2 para landing at Tangail and its securing the Pungli Bridge also facilitated the advance of CZA force. It was FJ sector, strengthened by 2 battalions, which finally made it to Dhaka on the 16th. But the most important thrust into East Pakistan was carried by IV Corps. 8, 57, 23 Divs, Kilo Force, East Bengal Battalion. It covered the area stretching from Sylhet in the north to Chittagong in the south. The sector was defended by 2 Pak divisions. The 8 Mountain Division operated in Sylhet area. It encountered the major part of the Pak 14 Division in this sector. Its 81 BDE advanced on Kalora-Sylhet axis and 59 BDE on Kalora-Frenchganj-Sylhet axis. It fought its way to Sylhet, destroying all opposition en route. On the 7th of December, a battalion was airlifted to Sylhet to unnerve the enemy and break his will to fight. The Div captured Sylhet on the 14th of December. On the 17th of December, 107 officers and 6,500 soldiers of the Pak Army surrendered to 8th Division. The 57 Division, 71, 311 BDs, operated on Agartala-Akaura-Ashuganj Dhaka axis. In one of the initial attacks on Gangasagar near Akaura on the 3rd of December, Lance Naik Albert Eka of 14 Guards displayed extraordinary gallantry. On the 5th of December, the division attacked Akaura with 2 brigades and inflicted a crushing defeat on the defending 27 Pak BDE. It then advanced onto Ashuganj and beat a sharp counterattack from the Pak BDE. Meanwhile, 61 BDE of the division advancing on Kamila Minamati Daudkandi axis in a wide outflanking move captured Daudkandi on the 10th of December. This move by 61 BDE forced the 117 Pak BDE to vacate well-prepared defenses at Lalmai and Kamila and fall back on Minamati. This in turn facilitated the advance of Indian 23 Division. The southern thrust in the IV Corps sector was carried by 23 Division, 83, 181, 301 FIDES, on Himatnagar-Laksham Chandpur axis. It completely encircled and emasculated 53 Pak BDE at Laksham. By the 9th of December, the division had captured Chandpur. It crossed the Meghna on the 14th of December and then pressed on to Dhaka, where it reached on the 16th, just after the 301 CZA area. Further south, a two-pronged attack was made on Chittagong. The northern hook was led by 83 BDE and the southern hook by the Kilo Force. The enemy surrendered on the 16th after feeble resistance. It is said that precision rocket attack by IAF fighters on the governor's secretariat in Dhaka hastened the Pak decision to surrender. On the 16th of December at 1630, HRS Lutgen Niadzi surrendered to Lutgen Aurora with 93,000 regular and paramilitary men. War on the Eastern Front ended in a complete victory for India. The Western Front. On the Western Front, the main battles were fought in Jammu and Kashmir, Tor Punch, and Rajasthan. On J&K Front, Pakistan had deployed 2 divisions, each 4 to 5 brigades strong, and about 20,000 paramilitary men. In the Rajasthan, it had 1 division plus 1 brigade, 1 regiment of armor on, and a few thousand paramilitary men. Jammu-Kashmir sector in Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistan, launched offensive on the 3rd of December, with 107 an attack by 12 Division on Punch, held by Indian 93 Brigade. Pak forces ANN succeeded in occupying Thanpir and Mandi Heights on the 4th of December. But Anji, their attack on Shahpur, Gutarian, and Denna was repulsed with heavy A on losses. Renewed Pak attempt to capture these positions on the 4th night Nari was also defeated. India then went on the offensive and recaptured Thanpir Aids and Mandi positions. Within 3 days, the Pak offensive in Punch fizzled then out. In Kargil sector, the Pak outposts located at high altitudes posed a threat to Srinagar-Leh road. 121 Indian Infantry Brigade captured these posts Lee on after a fierce battle. The most fierce Pak attack came in Cham sector. 10 Indian Division, with 4 brigades and ancillary troops under command, was holding this area. 23 Pak Division launched the offensive in Cham on the 3rd of December, with 4 brigades. It succeeded in capturing Mandiala Heights, which was lately weakly held by the Indians. The Pak attack on Kakrial Height on the 4th the night was repulsed, but the Indian counterattack on Mandiala Heights failed. Pakistan, after a major attack on the 5th night, forced 191 Brigade AR-2 withdraw from Cham. Emboldened by its success in Cham, Pak decided to carry war across the Munawar Tawi River. On the 10th of December, using tanks in assault role, 111 Pak Inf Brigade overran the Indian Company positions at Dar and Raipur crossing. Pak Brigade made some more gains, but owing to heavy losses suffered in the process, it decided to pull back. 10 Indian Division, therefore, regained the lost positions by 1700 HRS. That was the end of the Pak misadventure in Cham sector. Punjab sector. An important battle of this sector was fought in the Shakargarh area. Pakistan was holding the area with more than 3 divisions. Indian Corps, 54, 36, 39 divs, launched an offensive between Basantar and Ravi rivers to break the enemy concentration in this area. The Corps moved into Shakargar Bulge during the night on the 5th of December. The Indian Corps made a double thrust into the bulge, one from the north and the other from the east. The northern thrust was carried by 54 and 39 divisions between Bazantar and Bain rivers. This thrust had to negotiate deep minefields well covered by tanks, anti-tank guns, and machine guns. In view of these hurdles, 39 Division could not make much progress in its area of responsibility. But the 54 Division succeeded in establishing a bridgehead across River Bazantar on 16th morning after defeating the enemy in many battles. Repeated counterattacks by Pak forces failed to dislodge the bridgehead. In the day-long battle, Pakistan lost about 46 tanks. Second Lieutenant Arun Katarpal distinguished himself in the Battle of Bazantar. By the time the ceasefire came into effect, the division had penetrated 21 kilometers inside Pakistan. The eastern thrust was carried by 36 Division. Its main task was to advance across Ravi River in Gurdaspur area and capture Nainakot and Narkot. The division inched forward in the face of tough resistance and reached Bain River on the 12th of December. It could not, however, make much progress due to heavy mining of Bain River. The 9 Corps, operating between Dera Baba Nanak and Ganga Nagar, also made some gains. The capture of Dera Baba Nanak by 15 Division was indeed a notable achievement. Rajasthan Sector 11 and 12 Indian Infantry Divisions were deployed. Pak forces in this sector included 18 Infantry Division plus 1 brigade and some paramilitary forces. Indian forces had planned a double thrust in the Rajasthan Sector 12 Division on Longowala Rahim Yar Khan axis and 11 Division on Barmer Naya Chor axis. The thrust of 12 Division could not materialize because of the Pak attack on Longowala on the 3rd of December. This Pak attack was blunted with the tactical air support. The Pak army lost about 24 tanks and 150 vehicles in this air attack. In the south, 11 Indian Infantry Division overran Pak border posts on the 4th. Advancing 45 kilometers into Pak territory, it contacted Naya Chor defenses on the 11th of December. A commando battalion also assisted the division in its advance. But the attack on Naya Chor could not materialize because of the ceasefire. Further south in the Kutch sector, Indian paramilitary forces made some effective thrusts. Consequently, Vingur and Chad Bet complex were captured by evicting the Indus Rangers. Indians suffered 90 killed, 252 wounded, and 17 missing in these operations. Pak suffered many more casualties. Role of Indian Navy. The Indian naval offensive started on the morning of the 4th of December, when Vikrant-based aircraft and ships of the Eastern Fleet struck military targets in East Pakistan. Cox's Bazar airfield was damaged, and 6 Pak ships were destroyed at Chittagong Harbor. The Pak submarine Ghazi was sunk off the coast of Vishakhapatnam. Round-the-clock attack by the naval aircraft caused extensive damage to Pak military installations and harbors. By sealing all the escape routes to Pakistan, Vikrant forced many Pakistanis to surrender. A naval task force of the Western Fleet attacked Karachi Harbor on the 5th of December, and destroyed 3 ships. It caused extensive damage to oil installations at the harbor. Another attack on Karachi Harbor was made on the 8th of December. Simultaneously, another task force carried a diversionary raid on Makran Coast and captured a Pak merchant ship. By these daring acts, the Indian Navy bottled up the Pak warships in harbors. Indian Navy lost anti-submarine frigate Kukri during the naval operations in the Arabian Sea. The effort of IAF also gave a good account of itself.
It fought a major aerial battle with 4 Pakistani Sabres on a strafing mission on the 22nd of November and shot down 3 Sabres. Some more encounters took place on the following days. On the 3rd of December, the PAF launched preemptive strikes against major IAF bases in western India. It also attacked Indian railway stations, armor concentrations, and other targets. In response, the IAF carried out 4,000 sorties in the west and 1,978 sorties in the east against Pak targets. In the west, the IAF's primary task was disruption of the Pak communication system, the destruction of her fuel and ammunition reserves, and the prevention of her ground force concentration. FLG officer Nirmal Jit Singh Sekhon distinguished himself in an air battle against Pak Sabres on 14 December. On the Eastern Front, the IF finished the PAF in a quick action. In 1971, the IF gave crucial support to the ground forces on both fronts and maintained its superiority over PAF. The war lasted for 14 days. Pak forces in East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, were convincingly defeated and about 93,000 of them were made prisoners. In the west, a large area of Pakistani territory was occupied by Indian troops. About 600 officers and men of the Indian Army were decorated with gallantry awards. Of these, 4 earned _Veer Chakra, 76 Maha Veer Chalsia, and 513 Veer Chakra. In this war, India suffered more than 12,000 casualties. Of these, 2,908 laid down their lives toward the country. The war on the Eastern Front ended with unconditional surrender of Pak forces at 1,631 hours on 16 December. Thereafter, the Indian Prime Minister announced a unilateral ceasefire effective from 2,000 hours on 17th. The similar agreement signed by the Prime Minister of India and the President of Pakistan at midnight of 2 July sorted out the residual problems of war.